And if you could turn off your cell phones, that would also be very helpful. So without further ado, we're going to leave it to Michael. Welcome, Michael Miles.
Nice to see everybody. Wow. And all the way to the back, way in the back there. Hey, I'm in the back, and friends here, and this is fantastic. Let me see if I can get this a little closer. So this is an exciting night for me. I just found out, and I told Brunella this, that I have a grandson who's 16 years old, and he was his father's like a baseball fanatic, and he was on the baseball team. And I went to these games, any number of games, and what would always happen, it'd be like the ninth inning, bases loaded, 2 outs, he's at bat, and he strikes out. It was just like, so how do I get this to stay up? I don't know if this will stay up. Maybe Joe, can you help me with this? I think maybe if we put it on the stage and have it come across the side or something. Yeah, so baseball was not, it just seems to want to float down. So
yeah.
It was,
Here we are. And you want up closer?
maybe if you put it over there and have it came across the side, that would.
So don't let me interrupt your story, though. What was it?
Yeah.
Baseball?
Well, so he joined the swimming team. He joined the swimming team, and he's only been on the swimming team for like 6 weeks or something. And tonight he came in first in 3 events. Unbelievable. Yeah.
That's a student of yours?
No, that's my grandson.
Your grandson? Oh.
Yeah. A student of mine.
16 years old?
He's 16 years old. He just turned 16 yesterday.
That is amazing.
Yeah. I wrote him a song. I can't play it for you, but I write my two grandkids, and they get a song every year for their birthdays. And so they've each got, they've got 16 songs. Well, 16 for him, and my granddaughter's 13. So that's a lot of, the pressure's on year after year. But the name of this year's song is "What Does It Mean to Be 16?" It's catchy. Yeah. But back to the banjo. So, and we're trying to. Does that sound okay, Joel? Does that sound okay to you guys? Yeah, okay. Anyway, tonight there's 2 sets, and I'd love to come to the two-way street. And Joel asked me how many times I've been here or since when, and I don't remember. It's one of those things where it's I don't know how many times, and it's a few decades. The more questions get answered that way. Don't you find that? As your hair turns gray, it's like what? So tonight the first set is the story is all about the banjo, and the second set is all about the guitar. And I have a number of pairs of things to present, but just to get us started, here's a Big Bill Brunzi song called "Hey Hey," and Big Bill. This was also recorded by Eric Clapton, who kind of played Big Bill note for note, not to steal his ideas, but rather to pay tribute to him on the guitar. But I like it on the banjo, so and we'll just get things started with this. So, "Hey Hey" by Big Bill. Hey, hey, baby, hey. Hey, 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 baby, hey. Hey, 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 baby, hey. Well, I love you, gal. Sure ain't gonna be your dog.
Hey, 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 baby, hey. Hey, 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 baby, hey. Hey, 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 baby, hey. I love you, gal. Sure ain't gonna be your dog.
Hey. All right, there's a little. Can I get that banjo a little louder? There we go. Thanks. So I did wanted to do a few things in pairs. So here's a pair of works by Bach, and usually at moments like both celebratory and solemn, Yo-Yo Ma shows up and he plays the prelude to the first cello suite. So I want to play that, and then I'd like to follow it with what Bach followed it with, which is Allemande, which is the second movement in the suite. Yo-Yo Ma never plays that. He only gets he's got this contract thing that must be one song only. That's it. He does that, and then he's gone. We don't hear what comes next. And I've been fascinated by Bach, and I even went to his town where he lived when he wrote the cello suites, and that town is called Kotten, Germany, and it's in eastern Germany, although it's south and west of Berlin, because Berlin was kind of an island there unto itself. And small town, 20,000 people or so, and I got to stay in this hotel that was like a block from his house and a block from his church and a block from the castle where he used to hang out with Prince Leopold, who was his financial sponsor. And Bach was 35 years old the year that he wrote the suites, and in that year, which was 1720, he was widowed and he had 4 kids, and so there he was, single dad, and on the one hand, here's Bach, this one of the wonders of the world, and on the other hand, he was just a guy walking these same streets that I got to walk, and it was quite something to imagine him there, conjuring up all the amazing ideas that he conjured, including this. All right. So these cello suites, they each had six or seven movements, and the second movement, then the first movement was a prelude, and that's what that was, and then that's followed by the Allemande, and the Allemande is a German dance, and the Allemande that follows that, what Bach wanted you to hear next, is this. Yeah. So thanks for. It's not easy to listen. Sometimes Bach can be demanding to listen to listen to. It's kind of pretty demanding to play it too. I have to say, but listening to it is trick because you're like, wow, this is cool, and then you're like, then you're wandering your brain. You go off somewhere else. But I can't. There was people have debated about who's the greatest composer in the world, and it's of course it's a matter of taste. But all the miscellaneous scholars, they usually don't argue about who's number one. They say Bach was the greatest composer that ever lived, and then whether it's the Beethoven or Stevie Wonder and who gets to be second, that's debatable. But Bach gets the nod for for number one. So. And for me, staying with the banjo journey, I wrote a number of. I had this record that was called American Bach Revisited, and they had the first and third cello suites, and then this suite called the Chicago Suite. And I was born in Chicago. I grew up. We lived in Chicago until I was 6 or so, and then moved into Oak Park, and then I was in high school. In Chicago, and I'd hitchhike down the Eisenhower Expressway every day to get to school. That was part of my education, and so the Chicago Suite is my musical portrait of different streets in Chicago, and with the idea that you could take being on a street. And the first one I'll do is called Rosedale, and Rosedale is the name of the street that I live on, and so I kind of pictured as you hear this, the sound of walking down Rosedale. That's the sound of walking. And then there's all the stuff. The rest that what you hear is what you see when you're walking. And it could be, I call it Rosedale because that's the street that I live on. But it could be your street. It could be the street that you live on. And here goes. There's Rosedale. Joel, can I get a little more reverb on this, if possible? And so then the next one is Broadway. I live a half block off Broadway. Broadway runs from Diversey to Devon in Chicago, and it's a street that changes personalities every couple blocks. And so now when you're on Broadway, you're not walking, you're driving, because it's and then the world is changing. And then also, I just got back from New York. I was in New York City for 12 days because a friend of mine had an apartment that said we could stay in. And oh my God, Broadway in New York is like a wild array. I mean, these giant lights and neon signs. I've only went to Las Vegas once or twice, and I think those gambling casinos, they all seem the same inside, and I don't care for them much. But I love all the neon lights. You know, the neon lights are super cool. And Broadway neon lights are like unbelievable in New York. And so this is Broadway, yeah. So and again, once if you can ride with it, that the things you hear, imagine you are on Broadway, here in Chicago or on New York, and then imagine the wild things that can happen there and that you may have seen or may have heard of. And the music is trying to suggest all that stuff. They call it program music, instrumental music that attempts to tell a story. So, so here we go. How's everybody doing? You okay? Yeah? One more street, and then I'm gonna shift gears. So the next one is I'll slow things down. It's called Glenwood. Glenwood is a street that runs. It runs in Rogers Park. I lived in Rogers Park like 3 times, and yeah, other people lived on Glenwood. Glenwood, yeah, and I recently moved. I had been living on Glenwood for about 13 years, and it was there that I fell in love. And so it's like this is trying to now. It's the romantic side of the banjo, the moment you've been waiting for. Yes, that can you portray instrumental romance with the banjo? I don't know. But here's the sound of in the neighborhood. There are a lot of churches, so church bells happen. Sometimes you hear that. Those are the church bells, and then we're back again to walking, and then what you see and what you feel. And imagine being there and falling in love on this street. So, here we go. Here we go. All right. Okay, now I'm going to shift gears and play this other banjo. And so, let's see. This is a few more electronic things. This banjo, by the way, this is, now that it's 2025, this banjo was made, this part of it anyway, in 1925. So it's 100 years old. So happy birthday, Mr. Banjo. so now I need to get this. Yeah. And I'll use this microphone too. And this, so I have this other banjo that I love to play. It's it's a fretless that was a replica from 1855. It's not 100 years old. It's about 25 years old, but it's from yeah. And this and this I don't think this mic's on yet, so. And I have a concierge. That's what I need, a concierge. I saw a concert where this guy was Michael Hedges. Anybody ever remember who Michael Hedges, the phenomenal guitar player? He was opening act for Crosby, Stills and Nash, an unbelievable concert, and he had like the equivalent of Vanna White come out every song and give him a new guitar. So this has a whole other sound, and so I imagine many of you saw the Bob Dylan movie. You know, what an amazing thing. And I was just in New York, and I went down to Greenwich Village, and I took a picture of the Cafe Wah, which was one of the places where, you know, people like Dylan and Jimi Hendrix and Bruce Springsteen and Lenny Bruce and all these other characters used to hang out there, and I found that movie to be fantastic, just because the window into Bob Dylan's imagination when he was so young. You know, I mean, he was, by the time he was 25, he wrote this song. I'm gonna play Like a Rolling Stone. Like a Rolling Stone is described by, you know, Rolling Stone magazine, of course, little collusion there, but as the greatest rock and roll song ever written, and it's and Bob was only 25 years old, and the imagery in the song is like, I don't know, you know, what I was thinking about when I was 25, but it wasn't like at the level of the lyrics of Like a Rolling Stone. I was kind of a knucklehead, and I think that Dylan was kind of a knucklehead too. But he, but nonetheless, he got a lot of work done, and got a lot of things written there. And then I was lucky enough to be commissioned by Hal Leonard to write a book about Bob Dylan, and they wanted instrumental versions of all of his songs, of 14 that they gave me, including Like a Rolling Stone. And Bob's, they're not exactly melodic songs, and he sort of makes fun of his own singing in some ways, like in this song, once upon a time you dressed so fine through the bumps of dime in your prime. It's like the melody's hanging on one note, you know. We're a key of G, it's hanging on a G. But check this out. He goes from it's a G note against a G chord, and then it's a G note against an A minor chord, and then it's a G note against a B minor chord, and then it's a G note against a C chord. And so it was like this brilliant harmony where he holds that C as a pedal tone, and so many people just say, oh, you know, his voice is ridiculous. You know, can't listen to him. But the guy was, it was thrilling. I thought to just get a window into the youthful Bob Dylan that we saw. So anyway, so here's if all goes well, here's Like a Rolling Stone. I
Once upon a time you dressed so fine, threw the bums a dime in your prime. Didn't you? People call, say beware, doll, you're bound to fall. You thought they was all kidding you. You used to laugh about everybody that was hanging out. Now you don't talk so loud. Now you don't seem so proud about having to be scrounging for your next meal. How does it feel? How does it feel to be without a home, like a complete unknown, like a rolling stone? Gone to the finest school, all right, Miss Lonely, but you know you only used to get juiced in it. Nobody ever taught you how to live out on the street, and now you're gonna have to get used to it. You say you'd never compromise with a mistreated tramp, but now you realize he wasn't selling any alibis as he stare in the vacuum of his eyes and say, do you wanna make a deal? How does it feel? Yeah, how does it feel to be without a home, like a complete unknown, like a rolling stone? You never turn around to see the frowns on the jugglers and the clowns when they did their tricks for you. You never understood it ain't no good. You shouldn't let other people get their kicks for you. Used to ride on a chrome horse with your diplomat, who carried on his shoulder a Siamese cat. Ain't it hard when you discover that he really wasn't where it's at, after he took from you everything he could steal? Yeah, how does it feel? Oh, how does it feel to be without a home, like a complete unknown, like a rolling stone? Princes on the people, all those pretty people drinking, thinking that they got it made, exchanging all kind of precious gifts and things. You better pawn that diamond ring, you better pawn it, babe. You used to be so amused at Napoleon and rags and the language that he used. Go to him now, he calls you, you can't refuse. When you got nothing, you got nothing to lose. You're invisible now, you got no secrets to conceal. How does it feel? How does it feel to be without a home, like a complete unknown, like a rolling stone?
All right, and another one was what do you call it? All Along the Watchtower. All Along the Watchtower. If you listen to Dylan's version of All Along the Watchtower, it sounds a little bit like, it starts with his harmonica solo, and you wouldn't I don't think you'd be too far from wrong if you guessed that on the cab ride to the recording studio the day that he did it, he stopped at a music store and got a harmonica and practiced a little bit, and then played it in this song. You know, it's just like a brand new harmonica player for sure, and then of course Jimi Hendrix records it, and he, you know, and he listens to Dylan's harmonica introduction, and he says, that, you know, I think I get what he was after, but here's what I would do if I were playing it on my electric guitar, of course, and so there's a super powerhouse intro by Jimi Hendrix for All Along the Watchtower. But here's what it's, and I never did actually. I was delighted, but I never found a picture of Bob Dylan holding a banjo or hanging out with a banjo guy. There is a picture I just saw, actually somebody sent it out today. There's a picture of Bob Dylan next to Doc Watson, and Doc Watson did play the banjo, but he didn't have his banjo with him at the time. So there's still Dylan, as far as I know, has led a banjo-free life. You know, I can't imagine such a thing, but myself. But anyway, here's that.
There must be some way out of here, said the joker to the thief. There's too much confusion here, I can't get no relief. Businessmen, they drink my wine, plowmen dig my earth. None of them along the line, none of it's of any worth. No reason to get excited, the thief he finally spoke. There are many here among us now that feel that life is but a joke. You and I, we've been through that. This is not our fate. Let us not talk falsely now, for the hour is getting late. Yeah. All along the watchtower, princess kept the view, while other women came and went, barefoot servants too. Outside in the distance, a wild cat did growl. Two riders were approaching him, and the wind began to howl.
There we go. Yay. All right. Well, I think I'll do one more and take a little break. And the next song is an experiment, and so it's probably not the smartest thing to end with an experiment, but I couldn't help myself. This is "If I Had a Boat" by Lyle Lovett, and you know he and I don't even have it memorized, so I have to look at some of the words here. He's kind of. I heard him tell the story of how he wrote this song. That he was out taking a walk somewhere and with his dog or whatever, and he got to a creek that he had to cross, and the creek was really cold, and he was frustrated that he got his boots all wet, and it was at that moment that he came up with the idea of "If I Had a Boat." It's profound, you know. It's a big moment there, and oh, here. Oops, sorry. Sorry, I just apologized to my capo. Sorry, I put you in the wrong place, dude. But then, and then, of course, it's got the verse about the Lone Ranger and Tonto. Everybody likes the Lone Ranger and Tonto verse because in that one, the line, I'll give it to you in advance. The mystery masked man was smart. He got himself a Tonto because Tonto did the dirty work for free. Tonto, he was smarter, and one day said, "Kimosabe, kiss my ass. I bought a boat and I'm going out to sea." So I kind of like that snarky attitude. I had to, and I did this with another song that's in the second set. I had to write a new verse to fit into "If I Had a Boat" to address the politics of the moment. So that comes at the end. I won't do a recitative before it. And wish me luck. So, yeah, if I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean. And if I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat. We could all together go out on the ocean, just me upon my pony on my boat.
I was Roy Rogers, I sure enough be single. I couldn't bring myself to marry an old Dale. It'd just be me and Trigger riding through them movies. We'd buy a boat and then off to sea we'd sail. He'd probably sink without Dale, in my opinion. And that mystery masked man was smart. He got himself a tonneau, 'cause Tonneau did the dirty work for free. But Tonneau, he was smarter. One day said, Kemosabe, yeah, kiss my ass, I bought a boat and I'm going out to sea. If I were like lightning, I wouldn't need no sneakers. I'd come and go wherever I would please. I'd scare him by the shade tree, I'd scare him by the light pole, but I would not scare my pony on my boat out at the sea. And here's the moment you've been waiting for. Well, the guy got reelected. He bought himself a courtroom. Judges there did all the work for free. But the people, we get smarter, but we won't let this last too long. He got no place in our land of liberty. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you in 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah.
All right, let's hear it for Michael Miles, everybody. So we're going to take about a 10 or 15 minute break. The bathrooms are down the hall and on your left. Now is a great time to refill your snacks. And also a great time, Michael brought a whole bunch of CDs and books over here. So please visit the piano and peruse all of his wonderful offerings. And we'll see you back here in about 15.
Excuse me.
She does, but she doesn't want to go.
Put our own tea bag in there. Excellent. This is the I'll tell you what. Such a good picture.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm just saying, everyone I know, you know, it's probably relaxing. No, I think it's just relaxing. It's like a my lids stop letting me. That's good. Shut. Well, I always say, but I need it. No,
Oh, that helps. Doesn't it? It can. It really does. Yeah. All right. Okay.
I wanted to let you know about a couple things coming up. So tomorrow is the last day of the University of Chicago Folk Festival. Yes, so they have free workshops, and then at 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night. You don't want to miss that. Next week in this room, we have Katie Dahl. So you really don't want to miss her. She's fantastic singer-songwriter, amazing. And then the 21st, we have Jack Kennedy, and we're rounding off the month with Sarah Morris. I also wanted to let you know that we're going to be opening up probably this weekend the registration for our first 5th Saturday workshop. So all you banjo aficionados in the audience, Ken Perlman will be giving a workshop on March 29th. So I'll open up the registration. You can go to our website to find out more about that. And then we also are starting this year a matinee concert series. Yeah, we're going to have them April 6th, June 29th, October 5th. Those are Sundays at 3 p.m. And I don't know how we managed to do this, but Mark Dvorak has agreed to play for all of them. So Mark and Ashley and Simpson are going to play, and then we get to be joined by 2 fabulous local acts for each concert. So April 6th, we have Waddle and Dobbs and Sons of the Prairie. June 29th, the Woodshop Boys and Jack Kennedy. And October 5th, we have George Mattson and Lisa Medina. So you're not going to want to miss these. They're going to be right here in this room. So that's something new that we started. We are all the proceeds from those Heritage Concert matinee series shows are going to go to the coffee house. So it's going to be a free will donation situation, so you can come enjoy the music. And all the proceeds will be used to continue operations here, and also maybe get some new programming and other workshops and fun things. So we're super excited. But for now, we're going to have another set with Michael Miles. Let's give him a hand.
All right. Right. Well, thank you for sticking around, and we just need to get the sound for the guitar. Does that sound all right? You guys? So I have a new project called the Great American Jukebox, and the Great American Jukebox is a mix of it's pop songs. It's like my nutritional balance to Bach on the banjo is to play pop songs on the guitar. Carole King, Stevie Wonder, Beatles, Elton John, and that's what this set is. A bunch of those, and so started out with Carlos Santana. This is Black Magic Woman. And the one thing about the Great American Jukebox songs, I don't sing any of them. They're all instrumental, and they kind of step into the world of songs that I couldn't own to sing, like Carole King. And I was when I was in New York recently. I did get to the Brill Building, and the Brill Building was where she worked. And she wrote this next song, "Will You Love Me Tomorrow?" She wrote it in 1960. She was 18 years old. And it's not a song that I feel like I could personally sing, because it's from a woman's perspective, and it's which isn't completely a deal breaker, but it's just like her song, and it's like so that song, but could I? Then I thought, well, can I step into those waters? Can I go in there and play her music instrumentally and let you know the words? So my intent is, as I play it, you run the words in your head, So so you provide the inner jukebox silent vocals while I give you the melody. So here's "Will You Love Me Tomorrow?" So then I got so good hitchhiking down the Eisenhower Expressway that when I was in high school, I got a job at the beach as a lifeguard, and in 1971, the one, and back when people had transistor radios that were like about the size of a little cell phone, a fat cell phone, and the radio and the record everybody was listening to was Tapestry by Carole King. Everybody, it was just like over and over, and so here's that song Tapestry, and Tapestry. I mean, she was so brilliant. Was Carole King? I mean, she wrote that "Will You Love Me Tomorrow" in 1960. Tapestry is 1971, and so it's a decade later. And this song, it doesn't have a chorus, bridge, verse format at all. It's kind of verse, verse, verse. But what she does is this modulation, and modulation, common modulations in pop music are going up a half step or going up a whole step. Especially country music does that a lot at the end of the song, make it exciting. But she uses modulation in the middle. It starts out, it's in the key of E, and the third verse, it's a. There's the melody in the key of E. Third verse, she goes to the key of G, up to the key of G, and it's just a brilliant thing. And then in the middle of that verse, she sneaks back into the key of E, and the song ends. Yeah, Carole King, here she is. Now New York City has the most amazing public transportation. It's so much better than you can kind of get anywhere around town. And so we had our apartment was in the upper west side, not Midwest, we're Midwest. I don't think they have a Midwest in New York. Upper West Side. So we get on the train, and usually on the train there, to go wherever we were going, we were riding the B train or the C train. But eventually, I did get to ride the A train. And here from 1939, Billy Strayhorn wrote this that Duke Ellington recorded "Take the A Train," and of course he wrote it for the orchestra. But I heard the first time I heard it, I heard there's the great guitar player named Duck Baker played it in the Wayback Machine, and that was inspiring. So here's anyway my take on "Take the A Train." So among my, the jukebox, I get to like chase after what I feel are like the greatest songs that are ever written, and see if I can I do them? Can I do it as a solo guitar piece? Is that a reasonable thing to do? And who inspires me the most? Well, among the people who's always inspired me the most is Stevie Wonder. And I got to see Stevie Wonder, and it was in October of last year, and before the election and stuff, and up in Milwaukee, and it was in the basketball arena. So every so often they'd shine the lights on it, and you could see all the people there. And there were maybe 15,000 people or so. And I was thinking, I've been listening to Stevie Wonder my whole life, and I thought, and we all have this, like you listen to music and different musicians, you kind of have a personal relationship. Even though Stevie and I have never chatted, I do have a personal relationship with him, and there are these songs that are important to me, and that he's done that have been a part of my life at different times and stuff. I should probably talk into the microphone when I'm saying important things like this, so going to. But what happened for me at the concert was like especially when they'd pan the crowd, I'd see the crowd and there's 15,000 people, and I thought there are 15,000 personal relationships with Stevie Wonder here, because everybody's looking at him and they've got their own Stevie Wonder story to tell that matters, and so it was thrilling. He is one of the wonders of the world, and so here is here's his tune of his that he did as a tribute to Duke Ellington called Sir Duke. And the other thing about the Stevie Wonder songs, there's a lot of songs of his that kind of like Carole King. I mean, I do like to sing songs, but there are some that I can't sing it. I mean, it's not mine to sing, and I couldn't sell it. But I could step into those. Can I step into those musical waters? And Sir Duke was one where I thought, well, I'll give it a whirl. So here we go. With my glasses. Well, thanks. So then Stevie, he started his first. He started recording when he was 13 years old. 13, and he's written so many songs. Hard to choose from among them all. But here's another one that's called Master Blaster. And you might not recognize the title, but you may recognize the melody, because Master Blaster it's only sung by those words. They only show up in the background vocals. It's similar to Sir Duke in that it's Stevie's tribute to Bob Marley. So it's and it's also called Jammin'. It's just like and when he was in Milwaukee, the band had there must have been 25 people on the stage. It was incredible to see them all, 3 drummers and 4 backup singers and a string section and multiple horns. Oh, it was fantastic. And and he plays all night, and and of course it's all in his head. It's all all these hits just keep rolling one after another. So anyway, here's Master Blaster. This may be the first time it's ever been played on an acoustic guitar on planet Earth. I don't know. right. Let's see. So, let's go to the Beatles. They had a few hits. Let's see. So this was one of their earliest ones. This is "Please Please Me" from 1963, and I think they played it on the Ed Sullivan Show. I went to the when I was in New York. I got to go to the Stephen Colbert Show, which is in the Ed Sullivan Theater, and so and he had a football player as a guest, so it was no big deal. But to be in the Ed Sullivan Theater, where this is where the Beatles played. This is where Sly and the Family Stone played, and all these and Topo Gigio, all these other characters, and so. And for guitar players, here's a cool thing that you can do if you want to play in the key of E. You play. I'm going to play out of a C position, but I have a capo on the 4th fret. And I leave the 6th string open, so I play a C chord. But listen to that. I get that low E down there, so it makes it more muscle bound, like Elvis was when he was on the Ed Sullivan Show. Let's see. I'll do a few more because I don't want to keep you out too late here. Let me sing one song for you. This is I do like to mix it up with Garbage Man in Alley. Just to talk to him or say hi to him, because oftentimes I'm in the alley and I'm looking at look at these guys coming down the alley, and I think, man, here's my day. And my day is like I'm working on arrangements of Beatles songs or whatever, and his day as he's picking up trash, and this is that world, and I'm moved by that, and I think that we as citizens, everybody's got a story, and the garbage man's got a story too, and so I don't know any of them personally, but I tried to capture this one story in mind, and then of course the politics have changed, and so I had to rewrite a political verse this afternoon. So it's brand new. Whoops, it's still working. Okay. And part of this here, so I have to have the words, and because it literally was an hour before I got in the car to drive here, came this other verse. So it tells a story about the guy who's driving down not the regular garbage man, but the guys who pick up stuff. They just take any kind of metal and take it to some place where it gets weighed. He's one of those guys. Yeah, scrappers. Okay. So here's his story. Driving down the alley, yeah, he knows his way. It looks like he does this each and every day. Old refrigerators people cast away are gold for him. Saving up some cash to buy a brand new suit. Show her that his love for her is absolute. He fell out of luck, she was his parachute, and they will win. Just a garbage man tell you, but he's the world to her. Plans to do a lot more with his dreams deferred. Like a champ who's on the run, he will not be deterred. He's never been. He's never been. Tomorrow's gonna look a lot like yesterday. Fill the truck with scrap, bring it in for pay. Almost got enough now, maybe there's a way they could begin. She's in school, working on her English skills. Gotta work the airport just to pay the bills. Hope to buy a house, have their dreams fulfilled. Just her and him. Just a garbage man tell you, but he's the world to her. He plans to do a lot more with his dreams deferred. Like a champ who's on the run, he will not be deterred. He's never been. He's never been. America the beautiful, what do we have here? America the beautiful, it's now a land that's filled with fear. If you don't have yourself a lily white face, they're saying, get the hell out of here. They walked and walked and walked the length of Mexico. Swam across the border just 2 years ago. Hiding in the muddy darkness, laying low, and then he's in. Cousin in Chicago said it's okay there. If you make it, he got a place to share. She was right next door, an answer to his prayer. Where have you been? Just a garbage man tell you, but he's the world of her.
He plans to do a lot more with his dreams deferred. Like a champ who's on the run, he will not be deterred. He's never been. He's never been. Just a garbage man tell you, but he's the world. Plan to do a lot more with the dreams deferred. Like a champ who's on the run, he will not be deterred. He's never been. He's never been. Here we go. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks to Joel and Jennifer and Josh and all the volunteers who are here to make this happen, and also the guy who started this whole two-way street coffee house is also here, Dave Humphreys. He's somewhere. He is over there. Yeah. So we're all here, and I worked a deal. We both Dave and I are both past presidents of the Folk Alliance, and I remember, saying to Dave in a kind of Chicago aldermanic style, like, I got a deal for you. You can't refuse it. We need you on the board. We need you to think about being the president, and that happened just the way things do happen in Chicago. So, thanks everybody. I'll see you later.
Not so fast. Nobody, and I mean nobody, gets out of the two-way street without an encore. Should we have Michael play another song for us?
Right.
Wonderful. All right, before he does that, I want to make sure that we do thank our volunteers. We had Christine and Patty, a new volunteer, at the counter tonight. Josh and Joel were doing sound. My name is Jennifer, so thank you so much for coming. And one more song for Michael.
Back to the jukebox. Here's another one of my musical heroes is Elton John, and Elton John, he had all these incredible hits, and there was that movie about him. I didn't care for the movie that much because it was all about his wrangling with drug addiction and whatnot, which he managed to conquer somehow. But I did get to see him in 1971, around the time that Carole King wrote the Tapestry record. Elton John came to town and played at the Airy Crown Theater, and I saw him there, and he played Madman Across the Water. That was the Rocket Man, those songs. And so anyway, here's Madman Across the Water. And thanks again. And anybody wants there's books and CDs and whatnot, and you can go to my website, milesmusic.org, and there's more propaganda there and other odds and ends of stuff. So, and it's really, this is such a special place. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to travel a lot and play lots of different places, but this playing here at the Two-Way Street is it's a great place. It always feels good, and you feel appreciated, and there is this world. It's there's like, it's one thing for us to get up on stage and play, and there's like whatever glamour that there might be with that is a little deceptive, because it's kind of this exchange. It's an exchange where we share. Yo-Yo Ma, I learned from him. Because he's done these concerts where he played all 6 cello suites, and he from memory, which is like the weightlifting equivalent of picking up a building or something, and he. Somebody asked him what it is, how is it that you can do this? And he said, well, he started playing the cello when he was 2, and this is what he does. And he says, when I go out on stage, I feel like I have something to share and nothing to prove. And I found that pretty inspiring, you know. And along with the line from Woody Herman, who said he didn't like musicians who didn't make mistakes. It's like if I go see a musician who doesn't make any mistakes, the guy that shows me the guy's not taking any risks. I like musicians who take risks. So I take a little compensation in that for a few notes that get missed. But Yo-Yo Ma, this is something to share, and it's an honor and a privilege for me to share it with you. So we'll go out with Elton John. Drive safe. Thanks for coming.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, all sorts. Jane Curtin was there, all sorts of people.
Well, no. But it was, yeah, that's right.
See an old Park guy,
Hey,
Ascension class of 68.
yeah.
Dick Comfort.
Oh my God.
Last time I was there, Chuck Comfort.
Yeah,
was there
yeah.
also. That's
Yeah.
been a while.
Yeah, yeah. Now you related to him or not?
No,
it just
it's funny because his dad and my dad both taught at Oak Park High School.
Oh, is that right?
He was a
Yeah.
football coach, my dad was a math teacher.
Okay, right.
So in 8th grade, my dad got me a job selling popcorn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.